Hey, what's good YouTube? Anti-Yami here, back with another video, and today I want to give a big fat shout out to Koty and Jessie for showing off their deck list at the YCS Charlotte. Because I was playing base at that tournament and I felt like that wasn't the right choice, because playing 60 cards in a really consistent tournament was very rough. It's gonna be hands where it's just gonna be straight up unplayable, and the fact that you're playing 60 cards makes it really hard to see your actual cards that you really want to see. There's some hands where it's just so weak that if you get hit with one hand trap, it's really pretty much game over. And there's just some hands where it's just so cracked where you just play through like 3 hand traps and it's just insane. Still isn't on DP with like a bit of follow-up and stuff. So the reason why I would give them a shout out is that they made I think they call it like base 40. I think it was like 43 cards, whatever. But the idea of the deck is the fact that they are playing like a smaller deck so they can see more of their power cards. And they're cutting a lot of the bricks out of the deck, because I feel like base problem is the fact that they play like freaking like 9 bricks, and no matter how many cards you play in your deck, eventually you will draw a good number of those hands or a good number of those bricks in matchups where it really does matter that you need to draw very well. And it really sucks if that happens in game 3, because that's gonna cost you the set. So I did a lot of modifications to this deck. I think this deck is like extremely great. I grinded this with a friend and we came up with this deck list. It's gonna be a little crazy, so bear with me, but I think it's really cool, and how good it is and how consistent it really is, and I really like it. So let's go ahead and start into the deck profile. Starting off with the red rose, or the rose package. I play triple red rose, I play double rocks rose, and I play double basil rose shoot. So the problem with base is the fact that like there's so many different types of engines in a deck, but once you go through a certain engine, the engine no longer exists, right? So the idea behind this is that like if you open up like rose and basil rose shoot, you can actually special summon rose from the hand, or you can actually pitch it off with the faithful effect, put it in the graveyard, search, and then you can actually special summon basil rose shoot, or sorry, special summon rocks rose off the basil rose shoot, and then you can actually search your red rose. So it's like another way to get into your red rose. And also after you normal summon your red rose and you special summon your rocks rose, you can actually obviously special summon this, search this, and then you can actually like set this card or whatever, and then you can actually search for or special summon rock rose from your graveyard to search another red rose, and then you can normal summon red rose again next turn and special summon the second rocks rose, which gives you your other basil rose shoot. Like it's actually like a really solid engine that actually pushes past turn 1, which is really cool. And here's another effect that I think a lot of people obviously forget, is that when this card is in your graveyard, and if a red rose or a dragon, I think it's a dragon synchro monster, is sent to the graveyard, or sorry, a plant synchro monster is sent to the graveyard by card effect or by battle by your opponent, you can actually add this card back from the graveyard back to your hand. I think a lot of people don't know that. I don't think I ever seen this come up in any other matches, or at least in base. And sometimes even the fact that if I don't really use this card as like an extender or whatever, it actually set it, and I can actually use DPE to like prop this card. And this also has an effect where this card is destroyed while set. You can special summon any rose like card or rose monster, so that either that's gonna come up with my extra deck in a bit. But there's a lot of like hidden like tech by playing multiple of these. It's really cool, and I really do like it. So that's the rose engine. It's really strong. For the adventurer engine, I play the triple temple, and it's gonna be really crazy, triple griffin, because now this card low-key is a stronger starter now, because sometimes you do want to see this card, and there's times where you activate the token And you can actually chain that to the token effect, and you just put up an Omni Negate like immediately, and it's really hard for your opponent to like react to that. So they have to like negate the Griffin in the hand, and if they don't, then you have a free Omni Negate, which is really, really cool. And plus the fact that it's a level 7, it goes good with a lot of your Rose cards, so that's like really good for going first. Triple Rights of Armagia is really, really strong, obviously. Now I do want to play 3 of these. I only have 2 at the house right now, so technically this deck right now is at 42. But I know it sounds very strange, but playing Triple Faithful is very strong because this also starts off as a starter. Because if you just open this, and let's say you open this in a Red Rose, you can actually activate this normal summon Red Rose, search out the Draco pack, activate the effect, search out Temple, discard Temple, and you can actually search out the rights and then go from there. Or what you can do is actually you can use Faithful effect to search out Griffin, pitch a card, normal summon or special summon Griffins, but normal summon Red Rose and go from there. So like this card is very, very strong, and it's like even insane because when your opponent thinks that they popped it, they deal with a second one, and if they can't really deal with the second one, then you get the third one. It's really, really cool. And the reason why I do like 3 is because I also play Souls in the deck, and I feel like when you go first and you don't really get hand trapped or whatever, you can actually send off these this card and double Draco back to the graveyard, and then you can draw cards. So this card is really, really weird because like obviously it opens up as like a brick, obviously, so when you open it up it's like, oh okay, yeah, you open it. But going second is not that bad, especially if you can get a token on board and you can go from there. It's a free discard, obviously. You can discard it with like souls and draw cards if needed. But yeah, 2 has been really, really strong for me because in your first combo you'll set the board up, use Soul's effect to send these 2 cards to the graveyard, and then on your next turn you can actually search this card on your opponent's turn, and it's like another interruption for you to break the board, and it's really, really strong. I definitely love the double Draco pack. Didn't think I was until I tried it out, and I was like, you know what? It kind of works. I like it. Oh yeah, and Foolish Burial. For the next cards, I play Illusion of Chaos, double, and double Souls. I really love seeing Souls in my opening hand because you get so much advantage off of it, and the fact that it's a level 1, you can actually make Arclight with your Rose package, and then you can go from there as well. It's just a very, very strong engine. This can somewhat put back some of your bricks or multiple cards in your hand. It's just a really good engine. I just love it. It's just so really strong. Really good extender. For the hand traps, I played triple Ash Blossom, I played triple Ghost Bell, I played double Ogre, double Veiler, and double Infinite Impermanence. I really, really think that this lineup is actually pretty decent. There's no droplets in the main deck because I like just to interact with my opponent on their turn, and droplets can definitely do that when you go second and you can just like pitch cards, but like it kind of conflicts a little bit because you want to activate your hand traps, and a lot of times hand traps do cost a little bit of advantage because these are low impacts. So that in combination with droplets is a little strange because you're going to be even low, so you got to have like droplets plus like an insane hand, or it's just going to be rough in there. So I like this, and this is kind of like a pseudo droplets. If you don't activate this on your turn, you can actually just draw into this, and then use it kind of like a weaker droplets. But I like it so far. Next up, we got the double Fusion Destiny and the double Breaks. Obviously, there's nothing need to be said about this engine. This is really, really strong. And one Fairy Tale Snow and one Call by the Grave. Call by the Grave is just so weird. Like, I really want to cut this card, but it's just like, it's such a good card. I don't like the card, but it's just like, it comes up sometimes, and it's just really strong. And Snow is Snow. Going into the extra deck, we have one Herald, one Shooting Rysar, one Black Rose, one Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, one Cheyenne, one Baron de Fleur, And that's gonna be it for the synchros. This is really strong. Like, all these cards are very powerful, and this card can be really good in the late game. I don't ever really make this first unless like the deck, like my opponent like auto lose to it, whatever, and it's like really good versus like slow pace matches like Eldritch and stuff like that. So like if you can just stick this on board versus Eldritch, like they suffer. Like this card just like auto wins versus Eldritch. It's really insane. But yeah, that's it for the synchros. It's really strong. Going into the links, we have one Link Spider, one Hulk, one Cherubini. This card comes up very strangely. There's a combo where if you open up Fusion Destiny, you can actually go into this mid combo and like dump another temple, so it's like extra follow-up just in case you need to. And actually there's one game where I actually made this and I used Special Summon Enforcer, and I had a Baron pointing to the other side, and like this was like super annoying to get rid of because now my Baron and my DP has protection. And also, fun fact with interactions with DPE, when on end phase, when it's trying to destroy itself, it doesn't actually get destroyed because Cherubini protects it. And also, the fact that DP is also protected by Cherubini, you can actually DP itself and it'll stay on the board. So it can play around cards like Call by the Grave or Ghost Bell, things like that. Is very strong. And Cherubini also has its own self-protection. You can send a card on the field. So a lot of times I'll send my Draco back or my Faithful Adventurer. And it's just like, it's a really strong card. I like it so much. One Lina, one Dark, one Anaconda, one Celine, one Access Code Talker, and then of course wrapping it up with the DPE. So far, I mean, I'm not gonna show off the side deck because I think that's irrelevant right now. But if you guys care to see it, I'm still testing out some numbers and stuff like that. But yeah, I actually really do enjoy this deck. It's very strong. If you play very well and very smart, you get rewarded so well. And it's a lot of like secret hidden text and stuff. So if you guys ever want to make, want to like see a combo hand or like some tutorials on how to like play this deck, let me know in the comments below and I'll be happy to make it. But yeah, that's going to be it for this deck profile. Again, shout outs to Koty and Jessie for making this deck, because I never would have thought about making base 40, because I was just going to like actually stop playing the deck and like play like, I don't know, Sword Souls or something that's not base. But yes, that's going to be it for the video. Guys, have a great night. Peace.